is Katie Gensler here at Keeneland Racecourse. We're moving on to race 2 on Sunday. This is a maiden allowance race. These horses have never won before. We do have 2-year-olds on our hands, so many of these horses are going to be making their first start in a race. So let's take a look at them and see what you should look for when you're looking at maidens, especially the 2-year-olds. So first we'll look at the 2-horse. This is Desert Maria. She's a 2-year-old filly. She is a first-time starter. Actually, in this field of 9, we have all first-time starters. So really the things to look for, not only looking at their pedigree, which you can look at paper and then do a little bit more research online, also look at the trainer statistics and how well they win with first-time starters. You want to look for the ones that have higher percentages, of course, with the 8-horse Shelker, who I believe is either settled behind us or way on the other side of the paddock, but he does win at a 23% clip with his first-time starters. He really defines 2-year-old racing here at Keeneland. He wins a good share of them. But again, going off of looks with 2-year-olds, I pointed out the 2-horse. This horse is actually pretty well built as a sprinter. You want to see more of a short body build for a sprinter, and this one, he has it. When you see the taller ones with the long legs, those tend to be horses that'll turn out to be routers. Possibly not their first start, but maybe in the near future. The 4-horse is a good example of that. Midnight Chica. She's a Midnight Loop filly, and she really looks built like a Midnight Loop horse. She's got more of the long legged compared to the 2-horse. She is one of my top picks, actually. She's my top pick. She's been training really well, and that's another thing you want to look at is their workouts. And this horse had a really good work on March 26th, even commented by the Clockers comments. You can find that via Keeneland.com. But again, this filly could turn out to stretch out in the near future. But she's on her toes. That's what we like to see. Like I said, she's dappled out. She's got a nice, healthy coat. So she's leading into this race feeling really good. She's very aware of her surroundings, but she's not acting skittish. So that's a good sign, because sometimes these horses can't handle the large crowds. Not a very big crowd coming up here in race 2, but there is a decent amount of people here, and some of these 2-year-olds can't handle it because it is their first time visiting the racetrack during live racing. But again, I just like how she looked. Moving on to some other horses, looking at the 3-horse, that's Tia Celia. It looks like she is not very comfortable as we speak. She's been kind of moving around a little bit. Even looks like maybe her nerves are getting to her a little bit. So that may mean that she can't handle the large crowd. Maybe she's not feeling her A game today. We'll actually see them sweat underneath. The right term to use is washed out, but we don't really like to use that on air or anything. So she's just showing a little bit of sweat underneath, under the belly, near her hind legs. So you want to look for that when you're looking at horses here in the paddock, especially with the 2-year-olds, is seeing how they're handling their first visit to the paddock. Looking back at a few others, we have some way off in the distance. Again, the 8-horse Spelker. I saw this horse arrive in the paddock. This is another one that showed good energy. Again, I want to express, when you see a horse showing too much energy, they may be exhausting themselves just in the paddock and the post parade. You want to see them very calm and collected, but make sure that they're not too calm. You want them showing just the right amount of energy, and the 8 is a perfect example of that, even handling herself really well as she gets saddled. You'll see her again way off in the distance for West Ward's Barn. She's a 2-year-old filly by City Zip, and I did a little research before I came to the paddock, and I know that City Zip does win at a 14% clip with first-time starters. So again, I stress that you must look at the pedigrees if you get a chance, and really bred for speed, and that's also very important. Then you can kind of reconfirm that when you see how they're shaped, and if they look like a sprinter, again, that small build, and she did look like one. So Spelker looks like one to beat here. But again, hopefully I can give you a couple of tips on what to look for with a 2-year-old in these maiden races. We have so many wonderful maiden races throughout the entire meet. They're usually deep fields, and we usually see big prices, just like we saw in Toyota Bluegrass Day yesterday. We saw a lot of big prices in the winner's circle. And again, if they look good in the paddock, have at it, play them across the board, win, place, and show, and you might walk away with a lot of money in your pocket. Good luck, guys.